All right, man, peace. So, brothers, we all saw the catastrophic injury that the future first ballot Hall of Famer Kevin Durant suffered in Game 5 of the 2019 NBA Finals in Toronto, in which he ruptured his Achilles tendon. Of course, many of the members of the mainstream liberal sports media are putting forth the death knell on Kevin Durant's career, or claiming that he will not ever be the same as a player. Well, I'm here to tell you, not only will he be back next season, but the season after next season, he will ascend right back to that same perch that he was at when he left Golden State. He will be the player that he once was once again. Mark my words. It will not happen this season, but it will happen in the 2020-2021 season. Of course, assuming that this society lasts that long. But just getting back to the point, KD basically has the perfect body type to be able to fully recover from a ruptured Achilles tendon. As we all know, right now the standard for coming back from that injury is Dominique Wilkins, who ruptured his Achilles tendon, I believe, in the 91-92 season, and was able to come back the next season and still be a dominant scorer. As a matter of fact, in the 1993 playoffs, the Chicago Bulls played the Atlanta Hawks in the first round, and Dominique was dominating Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen could not guard Dominique, and this is post-Achilles tendon rupture. So Dominique should be the marker for Kevin Durant. I won't necessarily say that they have similar body types. Even though they're both relatively slim, Dominique had a bit more athletic build than KD has. KD's very slim, and I think that that's going to aid him in a full recovery from this injury. But once again, I predict that Kevin Durant will be playing with the Brooklyn Nets sometime after the All-Star break, most likely the first week of March, particularly if the Brooklyn Nets are in playoff contention and he feels like he can help the team. I'm saying all this because Kevin Durant very recently released some photos to show that he's in the midst of his rehab to recover from the ruptured Achilles tendon. And he looks to still be in very good shape. Just physically, he has not put on any weight. He's working out in the pool. So, of course, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
All right, one player who was able to choose his next destination, Kevin Durant, not even 6 weeks from his Achilles injury, but already posting rehab photos on his Instagram as he makes his way back. He's walking. That's not really biking, but whatever that was, the first one. He's swimming and shooting from the pool. Whenever Durant returns, if it's this season, or if it's maybe the following season, what do you think your expectations for what kind of player we're going to see?
My expectations for KD are that once again he's going to return after next season's All-Star break, and I'm sure he's going to be on some restricted minutes. He'll probably be playing somewhere between 15 to 17 minutes a game when he first comes back, and incrementally they're going to build up his playing time throughout March, heading into the playoffs. Hopefully, if the Brooklyn Nets are in playoff contention, he'll probably be topping out at around 20 to 25 minutes a game. They're still not going to push him even if they make the playoffs. Now, if they start to go on a magic carpet ride in the playoffs, all bets are off. You never know what's going to happen. But I'm pretty sure that when they're evaluating what they want to do with KD, especially with the precedent that was set by Golden State, even if they were to defeat many of the teams in the Eastern Conference in the playoffs and make it to the finals, Kevin Durant will still be on a fully enforced restricted minute status. And I don't see him really rebuffing it in any way, especially once again with what happened in the 2019 NBA Finals. But I do expect for him to eventually make a full recovery. I think that the 2020-2021 season is not only going to be a comeback player of the year award-winning season for KD, but he's also going to be in MVP contention.
I know I can potentially play a doctor on the radio sometimes on my show, but I'm actually not a doctor. But I've read enough where some of these surgeons that perform these surgeries on athletes say that, maybe he could come back to like 80-85%. But if Kevin Durant comes back at 80 or 85%, he's still like a top 10 player in the league.
If Kevin Durant comes back at 85%, it's going to be next season. When I say next season, I'm talking about 2019-2020. I think that he's going to be fully at 100% by the 2020-2021 season. And even at 85%, KD is not a top 15 player in the league. He's certainly a top 10 player, arguably a top 5 player at 85%. I mean, who knows? Man might still be top 3, even at 85%. He's 7 feet tall, and he has a very high release point on his jump shot. So who's going to stop him on offense? He might not be the defensive player that he was before the rupture, but there are a lot of people who still call LeBron James a top 3 player, maybe even the best player in the NBA, and he hasn't played defense in 5 years. James Harden's not a great defensive player.
top 15 at worst. So I think the expectations are still to win a championship if you're Kevin Durant or the Nets in this particular situation.
Yeah, well, and I went to college for 8 years, so that kind of almost qualifies.
You're like a PhD.
Just all under.
As a doctor, absolutely. and like you said, 80 to 85% of Kevin Durant is still a superstar. If Kevin Durant comes back and he's not as explosive, he loses some athleticism, he is still a historically elite 7-foot shooter. He is early 30s. Dirk Nowitzki, that's a guy who put the Mavericks on his back and carried them to a championship.
Absolutely. That's a very good comp also.
Absolutely. He's also got the build of someone who is at least on the better end of recovering from Achilles injuries, right? We don't have the most depth of knowledge because medical technology keeps changing.
Well, yes, I would hypothesize, once again, that based on Kevin Durant's physical body type, that he would be a candidate for someone who would have a full recovery from an Achilles rupture. We'll look at DeMarcus Cousins. This is a person who was not a great athlete even before the rupture and who was chronically overweight. And he was still relatively impactful in spots for the Golden State Warriors last season. So we'll see what happens with KD.
Really compare what happened to players with this injury even 5 years ago to what players are doing now. That being said, guys who have the build like Kevin Durant tend to recover better, quicker, regain more of their...
This is a very interesting chart right here. These are the players who are considered relative stars or superstars who ruptured their Achilles tendon and actually came back to play. Because some people might be saying to themselves, well, what about Isaiah Thomas? What about Shaq? When those two players ruptured their Achilles, that was basically the end of their career. They never came back from it. So it's very clear that this chart here is for players who ruptured their Achilles, who were considered star or superstar players and came back. Kobe Bryant, to me, he never really came back from his Achilles rupture. He was never the same guy. Nowhere near, to be honest with you. That's why I state that Dominique is the standard. Because not only did he come back from that rupture, he was a dynamic player still, and he was someone who based a lot of what he did in explosiveness. So I'm sure that KD is going to be conversing with him if he hasn't already.
Their old selves, and he's younger too, right, than some of these guys. So
Dominique was a beast though when he came back.
But Dominique is definitely the exception.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. All right.
But anyway, that's basically it on that. Best wishes to KD in his full recovery. So peace.